2 socks on each foot, still cold at midnight. That was my life at 81. I'm 83 years old. I walk to my mailbox and back without holding the railing. Last week I stood in my kitchen for 40 minutes making dinner without sitting down once. 2 years ago, I couldn't have told you what the floor felt like under my feet. The bottoms were numb, the tips of my toes burned at night, and when I woke up in the morning, that dead, cardboard feeling was the first thing I noticed before I even opened my eyes. I told my doctor. He nodded. He wrote peripheral neuropathy in my chart and told me to keep managing my blood sugar. What he did not tell me, and I don't blame him because he had 11 patients waiting and exactly 8 minutes with me, is that there are 3 specific things happening inside your feet when blood sugar runs high for years. 3 separate processes. And unless you understand all 3, you are managing symptoms while the actual damage continues underneath. I want to walk you through those 3 things today, because the third one is the one almost nobody connects to chocolate. And when you hear the mechanism, you're going to understand why what I eat every evening before bed is not a treat. It is deliberate. Before I get there, if your feet burn at night or go numb or feel like you're walking on cotton, drop the word feet in the comments right now and tell me how long it's been going on. I read every single one, and what I'm about to cover applies directly to you. Here is what is actually happening inside your feet. Not poor circulation, not just aging, the specific biological chain that your doctor sees the result of, but rarely has time to name out loud. First, when blood sugar stays elevated for years, glucose binds to proteins throughout your body in a process researchers call glycation. Those bound proteins, called advanced glycation end products, AGEs, accumulate in the walls of your smallest blood vessels, the microvessels, the ones that feed the peripheral nerves in your feet and lower legs. Research has consistently linked this accumulation to stiffening and narrowing of those tiny vessels, reducing the blood flow that your nerve tissue depends on to stay healthy. Less blood flow, less oxygen, less nutrition reaching the nerves. And nerves that are undernourished do one of 2 things. They start sending wrong signals, that's the burning, or they stop sending signals at all. That's the numbness. Second, those same starved nerves begin to deteriorate structurally. The myelin sheath, the protective coating around each nerve fiber, thins. The signal weakens. The feedback loop your brain relies on to tell you where your feet are, what they're touching, whether the ground is level, that loop becomes unreliable. That is why falls become more common, not because your legs got weaker, because your feet stopped telling your brain the truth. Third, and this is the one your doctor almost certainly never mentioned, not because it's hidden, but because connecting it takes longer than a standard appointment allows. There is a mineral that your insulin receptors require to function properly. Without it, insulin shows up at the cell door, but the lock barely turns. Blood sugar stays elevated. And elevated blood sugar continues feeding the first 2 processes in your feet. That mineral is magnesium, and studies indicate that a significant portion of people living with type 2 diabetes have suboptimal magnesium levels, often without any symptoms they would notice. That chain, high blood sugar, glycation, microvessel damage, nerve deterioration, does not announce itself. It whispers, a little burning, a little numbness, a little less feeling each year, until one day the whisper becomes a shout, a fall, a fracture, a loss of independence that cannot be easily walked back. If your feet burn at night, or go numb, or feel cold no matter how many socks you wear, please don't ignore it. I almost did, and I'm 80 years old. For years I told myself it was just age, the tingling, the heaviness in my legs climbing the stairs. But it wasn't age. It was my blood sugar quietly damaging the nerves and the circulation in my legs, and almost nobody warned me in time. If you let it keep going, those little signals turn into something you can't undo. I wasn't willing to lose my feet or my independence. So I started doing one thing every single day to help support healthy blood sugar and protect my legs. I'll show you exactly what in this video. And if you want the simple support I personally use, there's a free presentation linked in the description below. Now, Dark chocolate, specifically 70% cacao or higher, 1 square in the evening. Here's why this matters and what it does not do. 1 ounce of 70% dark chocolate contains approximately 64 milligrams of magnesium, close to 15% of your daily requirement in a single small piece. For someone whose magnesium has been running low, whose insulin receptors have been working against friction for years, that is not nothing. Research suggests that restoring adequate magnesium levels supports healthier insulin receptor sensitivity, meaning the key turns more cleanly in the lock, blood sugar response improves, and the environment that drives glycation and microvessel damage becomes less hostile. But magnesium is only half of what dark chocolate brings. The other half is flavonols, compounds found in cacao that researchers have observed may support the health of the endothelial cells lining your blood vessels. Studies point to an association between cacao flavonol intake and improved blood flow in small vessels. The same small vessels that feed your peripheral nerves, the same ones that glycation has been narrowing. I'm not telling you that a square of chocolate fixed my feet. I'm not telling you it will fix yours. What I am telling you is that the mechanism is real, the connection to blood sugar is supported by research, and I eat it every evening as one deliberate piece of a larger picture, alongside my doctor's plan, not instead of it. That distinction matters. Talk to your doctor before making significant changes, especially if you are managing diabetes with medication. The rest of that picture includes keeping blood sugar as stable as possible throughout the day, eating protein before carbohydrates, walking after dinner, and sleeping in a cool room. Those 4 habits, which I've covered in other videos, address the same chain from different directions. But the evening chocolate is the one people ask about most, because it doesn't feel like medicine. It feels like you finally got something back. A woman wrote to me not long ago, 79 years old, 14 years diabetic, feet numb from the ball of the foot to the arch, had been that way for 3 years. She'd tried compression socks, she'd tried soaking them. Her doctor had confirmed mild peripheral neuropathy and told her to keep working on her blood sugar. What nobody had ever done was test her magnesium. What nobody had ever connected was the low magnesium to what was happening in her feet. When that connection finally got made, and when the full picture started getting addressed, diet, routine, the evening cacao, among other things, the pattern shifted. I share that story not as a guarantee. Every body is different. But it is a pattern I've encountered more than once, and it is why I talk about this. The connection exists. The mechanism is real, and you deserve to know it. If you made it this far, you already understand more about your own legs than most people your age ever will. That matters. You know now that the burning, the numbness, the cold feet, they trace back to one thing: blood sugar slowly working against your nerves and circulation. And you know the goal isn't a miracle. It's protecting your ability to stand, to walk, to stay independent. That's why, alongside everything I showed you today, I use a simple daily support to help keep my blood sugar in a healthy range, so my legs keep carrying me where I want to go. I put the free presentation in the description below. Go watch it. And as always, keep working with your doctor. This supports your routine. It doesn't replace it. But here's what I want you to take from today. Your feet are not lying to you. The burning, the numbness, the cold that won't go away, those are signals. They're telling you something specific about what chronically elevated blood sugar does to the smallest vessels and nerves in your body. And that process can be supported. Not reversed overnight, not cured by a square of chocolate. Supported. Carefully, consistently, alongside your doctor, with the right dietary choices, the right minerals, and the right daily habits. If you choose to take that support seriously, alongside your doctor's plan, then the link below this video is worth a look. It covers a natural blood sugar support option designed to work with your treatment, not replace it. Take a look. Ask your doctor about it. That's all I'm asking. And drop "my feet" in the comments. Tell me what you're feeling and how long it has been going on. You are not alone in this, and you are not out of options.